Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here, and today we're going to be looking at the experiment that we're going to be running that deals with that adaptive trait that we looked at with our moths called camouflage. And today you're going to be diving in to our experiment here to see whether or not camouflage is always an adaptive trait in any environment. More specifically, we're going to be working with our australopes and deciding if a yellow color that they have is always the adaptive trait in a yellow environment. But with our experiment, we're going to be running two different sims to really look at this idea. So we're going to kind of quickly review what the experiment's all about, how you're going to run it, and we're going to look at how to complete it in the sim. So first and foremost, on the next set of slides, you're going to be given this diagram that breaks down some important things. Number one, the claim that we're looking to either support or refute with our experiment. So either to find evidence for and support, or to find evidence against and refute. And that claim is yellow color is always an adaptive trait in a yellow environment. Now, we've seen this diagram here with our australopes where we have our different fur color, and we see that we have a very wide variation for all the colors, with our distribution for each trait being relatively low. So in our experiments, you're going to be running two sim modes with this same starting population for 50 generations. And we're going to be looking at these yellow traits here and seeing, are the yellow coloring that we have always an adaptive trait? Now, here's where the experiment is a little different from what we've done before. Normally, you'd run one sim, but in our experiment, you're going to run two sims. The first one, you're going to take this population here with the same exact distribution for all their variations, and you're going to run it in a sim with Carnathons. And you're going to give the background a yellowish tint. And we'll explain that here in a second. You're going to run it for 50 generations. You'll go to the Analyze page and look at the histograms. And then you're going to run the sim again for Environment B. And in Environment B, you're going to turn off the Carnathons. You're going to take them out of the population. And we're going to look to see if that yellow color is always an adaptive trait. One with an environment that has a predator, one with an environment that does not. So how that's going to work is you're going to dive into the sim here. And you're going to go to the modes. And you're going to find the camouflage one because that's the one we've been looking at. That's what we explored with our moths at the very beginning. And when you click on that, you're going to load it up. Now, for both experiments, with Carnathons and without, you're going to toggle your surface color to 7. So what that is yellow number 7. So it gives you that yellow tint that we've been talking about. And over here, you'll see that we have certain population of thorn palms, certain population of australopes that we looked at in our histogram before, and you'll see that we have about 20 Carnathons. So for the first experiment, you're going to run this. You'll hit run, and you're going to run it for 50 generations like you would, and you'll speed it up here to 4, and then when you get to 50 generations, you'll hit the Analyze page, and you'll go from there, okay? Obviously hitting play, letting them run through and do their thing. Now, for the second time, you'll hit and have to run the camo mode again. That's key. Make sure you go back in, run the camouflage mode again. Don't start it where you left off. You're going to go through the same thing where you load it up to 7, but this time you're going to turn off the Carnathons, and we'll run it for 50 generations again, looking to speed it up and play that. But remember, this time we're doing it with no Carnathons, and we're looking to explore this idea of whether or not this yellow coloring is the adaptive trait. So that's how we run our sim. That's what we're focusing on in terms of our claim for our australopes. And your job now is to decide using our sim survey, do we understand how to access the same sim mode needed to run the two experiments with and without the Carnathons, and how we will be looking for evidence to support or refute the claim. Remember, we're going to be looking at those histograms to decide whether or not it supports the idea that this yellow color is always an adaptive trait, or the camouflage always is or is not. If you put your X in yellow or red, please reach out. Otherwise, good luck.